All right, great Tuesday morning. And yes, I sound like I'm coming from another world. My gosh, the allergies up here in New Mexico, crazy, crazy, crazy. But anyway, man, we're going to go at it. We're going to keep doing what we do. No stopping, plenty of water, plenty of hot tea. Just keep drinking down and hope the voice holds up through the end of the week. We're out here in Santa Fe doing our immersion sales training program, a whole week long training on helping sales consultants for Zia Factory Outlet Homes be able to take their careers and themselves to an elite level. Hey, today I want to talk to you about objections, and you should always be ready for objections because the objections never stop. They're always coming. They're always going to be there. And as John Wooden once said, confidence comes from being prepared. Nothing could be more true than the fact that most sales consultants, community managers struggle with objections because they just aren't prepared for them. And because you're not prepared for them, then what ends up happening is you end up just simply saying something that comes off top of your head. You're always just trying to figure out what you can do to make the house better, right? Or you start making it about price and what can be done. Let's see what kind of incentives we can do, or you're just trying to hold on to that deal by just telling them, look, let's just apply for the loan and see what happens, right? Every single time you wind up handling it the same way. But for some reason, you know that these objections are coming. You know that they are happening. They're never going to go away. But for some reason, you choose not to actually prepare for them. You see, I've spoken plenty of times about the fact that competence leads to confidence, right? The more you know, the more confident you're going to be be able to take care of or do whatever it is that you have to do, whatever's in front of you. And it's even more important when it comes to objections. If you're shooting from the hip, if you're simply trying to make it transactional, you're never going to accomplish at a high rate the closing percentage that you should be having. Because right now, look, everybody, just about everybody wants to buy a home. Even with prices being where they are, even with rates being where they're at, everyone wants to buy a home. Yet, because of the nerves, because of the concerns they have, and those concerns aren't being addressed, the nervousness is not being subdued, then what ends up happening is they end up wanting to stop, take some time, and think it through. They didn't come in to think it through. You have to understand that. And the quicker that we can understand that, the quicker that you can understand that anyone that shows up at your location did not come in to think it through, to think about it. They didn't come in for that. They came in to buy a home. They came in to make the decision. They are just needing you to help them make that decision. And when it comes to objections, okay, that is no different. The objection is just that stone wall. The objection is just a smokescreen, and even more so now. When they're giving you the objection, two things you always have heard before. If they're telling you no, it's because they don't know enough. And that may be the case. You just didn't do a good enough job of being able to help them get the information they needed, whether it's about the homes or financing, whatever it may be. The other thing is just the fact that they straight up right now are concerned and they are nervous about the economy. They're nervous about having to take on a mortgage at 7%, 10%, 13%. You see, and that's why more so than ever, it's huge. It's so important that you are even more informed, that you are even more competent and more confident, because that's what the people need from you. That confidence from you to help them feel as though they're making the right decision. All right. Hey, Julia, good morning. Great to see you on here. All right. Thanks for being part of what we do. Had one of our coaching clients for one of our great community companies that's on here. Julie Rutherford, fantastic. Always on Thursday calls with us. But anyway, listen, folks. When we're talking about objections, the difference between how you handle them right now and how any high performer handles them is what we're doing is we're not making it about the home. We're not making it transactional. We're truly making it about the reason why the buyer came in the first place. What is that main reason that they're looking to buy a home? You see, if you can slow down enough up front in your interview process and you get to the bottom of what is truly driving their buying decision, whether it's something going on with the kids, or they got into some issues with family, or they're moving to a different area because of a job change or whatever it may be. You need to dig in deep into those things. Yesterday, when we were doing our training here, day one of the immersion program, as people were giving me answers, I would follow up with another question and another question on that response to help them understand that the true answer lies 2, 3, 5, sometimes 7 questions deep. So you can't just listen to what they tell you first, leave it there and assume that they told you everything that has to do with whatever it is, a question that you gave them. All right. So you need to make sure that you are digging deep to be able to get the information that you need, so that when the objection does happen, you can overcome that objection in a very sincere and honest way based on their need. So when you're talking to these folks up front and you're getting to that portion of it, and you're trying to find out, let me find out, Mr. Customer, what actually has you looking to buy a home? Well, I've been renting for 2 years. Great. And why now? You've been renting for 2 years. You've been comfortable the last 2 years. Why the change now? Well, I just finally had realized that things aren't going to get any better. Rates aren't probably going to go any lower. Prices are going to stay the same. So I might as well do it now. Okay. So why didn't you do it 2 years ago? And somebody may think, well, why would I ask him that? But you see, that also is going to let you, that response is going to be about how they felt and thought. And that's what you're trying to get into. You're trying to find out what that was. Well, I didn't do it back then because I was thinking that the prices were going to go down. I was thinking that the rates were going to come down. But my gosh, all they've done is gone up. Well, you're right. And so when you're in the home, and it comes time to make that decision, right? And you're asking them, the price or payment, what would keep you from buying the home today? Well, I need to go think about it. You gave me some great options. I love the homes, blah, blah, blah. Now I could go back to what he told me. I don't have to be confrontational. I'm not going to get defensive. I may have a look of kind of confusion, right? Because Mr. Customer, hold on, let me make sure I've got this right. Because earlier this morning when we were in my office, you mentioned to me that you finally had reached a point where you felt you needed to buy a home, right? You realize prices keep going up, rates keep going up. You don't want to risk that anymore. This home actually has everything that you said you wanted. It's in your budget. Now, you also mentioned to me that up front, you said that you didn't buy 2 years ago because you thought they were going to go up, or the prices are going to go down, rates would go down. So, Mr. Customer, do you really feel that anything's going to change between now and the next 6 months, a year, depending on how long you take to think this through? Probably not, right? So it just makes sense that we would move forward today with the transaction so that you could go ahead and secure. Pricing is what it is and rates where they're at. Great. If a year from now, 2 years from now, they go down, you can always refinance the loan, get the lower rate, get a lower payment, but save yourself from the potential of that price going up. So I'm going to do you the favor of us continuing forward, moving forward, getting your application submitted to lender so that you can make the wise decision. Doesn't that make sense? So when you do something of that nature, now you're making it about what they said was important to them. You're not trying to make it about something else. You're not trying to, well, is it the house? Let's go look at this other house, or, hey, what if I can get $10,000? That's not the issue, because if that were the issue, that's what he would have said. But you need to dig in deep when you're in with these people and they're giving you those objections to find out why they're thinking that. So when it comes to overcoming objections, we've got a formula that we use, right? There's 4 steps, but today I'm going to give you 5 that you really need to focus in on. when you get those objections. First and foremost, when you get the objection, you have to acknowledge it. You have to make the person feel comfortable in the fact that they have that concern. Make it okay that they have that concern. Hey, Mr. Customer, I completely understand that you would think you need to take some time to go ahead and think it through, right? When you do that, you're making them feel comfortable. You're lowering the guard down. You're not making it confrontational, and you're repeating the objection so that they know they listened. You listen to them, because how too many times I've seen it throughout my career where a client told the sales consultant something, and the sales consultant never even addressed it. They just went on talking about what they were talking about. And not only is it rude, but second, it makes you seem like you're not even paying attention. You're not actively listening, and you're not doing what needs to get done, right? So you acknowledge it, you repeat it, and then from there we want to isolate it. So let me find out, Mr. Customer, other than needing to take some time to think about it, is there anything else keeping you from moving forward with the purchase of the home today? Well, no, that's it. I need to take some time, and you've given me some great options, and I really wanted to get this done. Home is perfect. Okay, fantastic. With that being said, Mr. Customer, earlier today, you mentioned to me that you were wanting to buy a home now because of the fact that over the last 2 years, you've seen prices just continue to go up. Rates have continued to go up. So I've got a question, because I'm a little confused. Do you think that that's going to change over the next 3, 6, 12 months? Well, no, probably not, right? Okay, yeah, you're right. It's probably not. And you mentioned to me that 2 years ago you had already thought about starting, but you thought that over the next 2 years the prices were going to go down, the rates went down, and all they did was go up. Am I wrong? No, you're right. So in order to save you from that pressure, that stress, and that added loss of money, it just makes sense that we would move forward today with the purchase, get everything moving so that you can lock in the price at what it is now. You get the current rate, and if a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, the rates go down, you refinance the loan, you get the lower rate, and you go ahead and get yourself the payment savings. So let's go ahead and move forward with this. And so we're isolating, we're acknowledging, repeating, isolating, and then we close. But you're closing using the information they gave you. That's why it's so crucial that you slow down up front and get as much detailed information, because they came in to buy a home. You're not doing them a disservice. Too many people think, well, you're a salesperson. You came in to see us about this. We're just trying to help you make the decision. We're trying to help you get out of your own way. We're trying to help you save yourself from you. So you follow that for me. And lastly, the most important thing, you got to role play 3 or 4 times a week. From here on out, we never get these things completely right. And the times are always changing. Things are changing with the homes. Things are changing with the finance. Things are always changing out in the world. So you need to continue to role play and continue to improve and master these so that you can confidently overcome the objections that come your way. So folks, we're going to get in here. I'm hoping I've got enough voice to last me through the day and through the rest of this week for this training. Drink some more hot tea. But I hope that you go out and have a great Tuesday. All right. Make everything the best that you possibly can. Go and attack. Be on the offensive always. Make life happen for you and not to you. Have a great Tuesday. We'll be back in tomorrow if I've got a voice with another 15 minutes to master you. Until then, my friends, I can't wait to meet you.